Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs Audio review. Today I've got something really special for you. Brand new release, one of two, from Myer-Audio. This one is under the Sliivo label. It is the Sliivo SLA3. It is a single DD 3BA configuration. So you've got a 10 millimeter composite biodiaphragm driver, two quote nulls, balanced armature drivers for the mid-range, and a single balanced armature custom driver for the top end of things. I gotta admit, I was pretty excited when I found out about this, when Meyer contacted me and said, we've got a couple of new sets, would you like to review them? Yes, of course. And then I saw one of them was a 1x3, and I was like, is this going to be the set? Like, is this going to be the set that puts them kind of, they're already on the map, but maybe puts them over the top? Because if you can come out with a $100-ish, and this one is slightly under, at least, well, when I'm logged in, I think it's like 104 if I'm not logged in, but it's 98 when I am logged into my Ollie account. And it's, got the Myer-Audio house sound and quality and all of those things, going for it. That price tag is kind of magical, People see under $100 or even like really close to $100, and that it's a lot easier to take a flyer or do a blind buy in that situation versus something that's like 150 or 170 or 240 like some of their other sets are. Now granted, you guys all know by now that I'm a huge Myer-Audio fan, and I still have Awesome Danny, buddy, to thank for introducing me to the brand. Basically, he was kind of like, dude, you gotta check this out. And lucky enough to be able to partner up with Myer-Audio. So that's huge to me as well. Not a very big, although growing nicely. Thank you to all of you. I don't have thousands of subscribers yet. I will, but I don't have them yet. So it's kind of like Meyer took a chance on me. I don't really feel like I'm taking a chance on them because they just make really good shit. So it's kind of hard to say. I'm not putting myself at risk reviewing their stuff, that's for sure. Sorry, reviewing their sets, their products. That's a little nicer way to put it. But it also feels very... it feels like kind of like meant to be-ish, between Myer-Audio and Sciendance and Harrison specifically. And those two entities have not really crossed paths yet, but maybe someday they will. Newer, smaller, independent companies in support and working with a newer, smaller, independent reviewer. I think it's kind of cool. It makes me feel like I'm doing this the right way, and things are happening as a result of that. Like, good things are happening organically as a result of trying my best to do things the right way. So, of course, big thank you, obviously, to Myer-Audio to providing me the SLA3 for this review, and the upcoming CK-LVX CK2V. Which is either going to be next, or I might sneak the Tessil Shark in first. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet, but we'll see. But anyway, for today, long intro. I'm happy to bring the SLA3, Sliivo SLA3, to y'all. And I will do a quick measurement, although the measurements have been done, so if I feel like I'm running short on time, I'll skip it. But yeah, let's get going. Let's take a little unbox here. Oh yeah, and one last thing. Ha ha ha, Chiefs. You lose. Even though my team didn't beat them. Somebody did. It always brings a smile to my face. Terrible. I know. Petty. Whatever. I don't care. I enjoyed the shit out of the Super Bowl yesterday for lots of reasons. The sleeve has been upgraded. It's still tighter than you could possibly imagine, so that's why it's off and me not trying to take it off during the review. Yes, and it's gotten a little bent up here from it. Wow, it's a tight fit, but really nice design on the front. Kind of matches a little bit with the faceplate. So yeah, nice. They decided to, get a little fancier with their sleeve, and I like that a lot. The box is a standard Myer-Audio box. Nicely put together. Nothing fancy. Doesn't need to be. Whatever. This one is a 100-ish, sub 100 possibly set. You get a reasonable set of narrow and wide-ish, or normal-ish, narrow and normal-ish bore tips. Those are the tips. The black ones are the ones that mimic the final Type E tips, which is always nice. And there are a couple of foams in there too. So there's that. And oh yeah, there it is. I hope I didn't lose that. Terminations are 3.5 and 4.4 on a modular cable. Simple, elegant. Do I dare put this back on? I don't really want to, but I'm gonna. Yeah, it goes on okay. Not even really. Oh yeah, that's probably never coming off again. Anyway, nice unbox. To the specs. Oh yeah, there's your user manual. Oops. We'll deal with that later. On your specs, like I said, you've got your single DD, which is composite biodiaphragm, and then you've got 3 BAs, 2 for the mids and 1 for the highs. You're looking at a resistance of, where is it? I just saw it. No, not there. Okay. I don't think it says impedance range 33 to 100, but that's not the actual resistance. I felt like it was around 12, and I'm way off. All right, so impedance on these 40 ohms, okay, and since sensitivity is 107 decibels, they give the nozzle diameter too, and it is a larger nozzle. I could not really get the final Type E ear tips on them very easily, but they did go on. Ended up with the recently acquired CP100 Plus from SpinFit. Those worked very well, as well as the W1s. So a couple of winners, a couple of SpinFit winners on this set for sure. I had the Divinus Velvet on there, but actually for the first time in a very long time, I liked other tips better as far as sonics went. So that's what we did. CP100 Plus and W1s from SpinFit if you want to go outside the box. And honestly, the final Type E's did sound pretty darn good on them too. Alright, so with that out of the way, yes, you've got your Knowles BAs, your custom BA, your 10mm dynamic driver. You've got the 3-way crossover. The cable is high purity silver plated copper, 4 strands. And really nice. I'm a big fan of the cable here, and the termination actually too. Termination, I might throw it in the comments, but there's another termination recently that was just like this with the screw on. Like really, I don't know. I like this one a lot. This version. It's like maybe like similar to the Q-Lock from Dunu or something like that. But I've seen this recently. I'll just have to sort of look to see which set it was on. But nice termination. And so far as the build on these goes, well, they're excellent. 3D printed resin, 3D printed, precision cavity for acoustic cavity. The face plates are gorge, and the shell size is fairly small. I mean, it's not tiny, I guess I've seen smaller, but certainly not large. Certainly going to fit most of yours. these were super, super comfortable to wear. They were easy to get in, they were easy to get settled, and I didn't want to take them out. You can ask my wife about that this past weekend. I did not want to take these out, like at all. Sneaking down during the Super Bowl to quote unquote vape, and what I was really doing was listening to the SLA3 more. So yeah, build quality is excellent, comfort is excellent, as you would expect now from Myer-Audio. It is a recessed 2-pin connection, so obviously comes with the recessed 2-pin cable, which is important. But just so you're aware of that, this is the sort of same-ish design as the SL41 Mark II. And that's not where the similarities end, folks. But yeah, so nice solid connection there. No issues with the earphones falling off of the cable. Which can happen. Doesn't happen as often, I don't think, anymore. Venting, good. No pressure buildup. Yeah, basically everything you need for extended listening sessions. And the way these things sound, you're going to want to go on extended listening sessions with them for sure. Let's bring up the graph and talk about what these bad boys do sonically. I will let you know right out of the sonic impressions gate that they way overperform where I was expecting them to be. I was expecting this to be sort of maybe a toned down, slightly warmer, softer version of the D41. That was a dumb assumption to make because it's the Sliivo name that they're under. So then I was like, okay, well, they could be just like maybe a slightly toned down, softer version of the SL41 Mark II. And I was wrong about that too. So let's bring up the graph. Take a look at the goodies here. And I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't get my act together and get a squig going, but I think I'm going to I've got bangsaudio.com website, like web domain, registered, and I think I'm just going to start throwing all of my graphs up there just to start with. So at least there's some sort of database to get to. So look for that to come online. I'll make the announcement when it's officially up and working. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll get off my butt and get the squig going between now and then too, because I know y'all would. It's a lot easier than scrolling back through all of the reviews to try to find a graph, or scrolling back through the entire community section to try to find a graph. I get that. It's annoying. I get it. Okay. Anyway, here's the graph. So channel matching is excellent. As you can see, sub bass over mid bass. I would say almost looks like a tuck, but not. It's really not a tuck. There's plenty of mid bass presence there. It is sub bass emphasized over mid bass, but the mid bass definitely presents really, really well, especially in hip hop and rap. So no worries there. You're not gonna like miss out on anything. Mids are just really nice. I mean, I feel like they're positioned just about perfectly. I didn't notice any lack of weight on male vocals. I didn't notice any shoutiness in female vocals. Or like any sort of muddiness or, lack of coherency. I just think they kind of nailed the mids. And the ear gain, I could have guessed that. Like, as I was sort of graphing this in my mind, I actually had it like a little bit more extended in the mid bass. This kind of actually did surprise me a little bit because it sounds like there's more mid bass than that. But I had the ear gain kind of right about like this in my head. Energetic, but not fatiguing, and in my opinion, not shouty. And then you've got this really nicely extended treble, only maybe falling off a bit in the air region. And since I'm not really a big air head, as far as earphones go, I didn't feel like I was missing anything up top. I felt like it extended the treble energy and detail, and all of that extended just really, really well. I couldn't find a fault. Even though it looks like it's up here like The peak at 5K might lend itself to a little bit of sibilance. It's not there. Neither is the BA timbre. There's no like unnaturalness or metallic character to the timbre of the treble. It's just very natural. And honestly, like I feel like this is what they did. I said it in the community. I'm like, I feel like they finally pulled a moondrop on us and released a less expensive set that betters a couple, if not several, of their more expensive sets. And I mean, I literally feel they were like, all right, well, let's see how inexpensive we can make this set, but let's make it as good as we possibly freaking can with the configuration and keeping it under $100 or around $100. I mean, I really feel like they just decided they just went freaking balls out on it. They're just like, let's do it. Let's see what we can do. And what they did was, they basically made like their own aria. They basically made like their own Moondrop aria, which like outperformed several of Moondrop's more expensive sets when it was released. And I love that they did it. But also, it's kind of like, well, then, luckily for all of us, their other sets are fan-freaking-tastic. The D41, the SL41, the SLT6, the D62, like, they're all amazing sets. Like I said, they went full Pokemon Go on us. You gotta catch them all. Like, there won't be a set moving forward that Myer-Audio releases under CK-LVX or Sliivo that I'm not going to want, based on what I've experienced. There is, like, I won't be like, I think I'll take a pass on that one. It's not going to happen now, because they nailed it at $100. Absolutely nailed it. So how did they nail it? Well, let me tell you how. Let me tell you what this set really, really does. The soundstage is not huge, but it is definitely accurate, and it has good width to it, and it has good height to it. It doesn't go super like low, like down to your chest necessarily, but it goes deep. And when I say deep, this is like a combination of soundstage and detail retrieval. Like, you can go as deep into the music as you want to go. Like, it's almost like, I think I said this about the Anunnaki, but the Sliivo does it, the SLA3 does it even better because it's got better bass. It's like infinite. You will just, if you just let yourself like get absorbed, you're going to go deeper into songs than you may have ever gone before. And you are going to hear things. Maybe you've heard them before, but you haven't heard them as clearly or presented in the same way. Or you may just literally uncover stuff. Like, I was picking up harmonics from guitars in songs that I had not heard. God, what was the most recent one that I was just like, oh my god? I think it was, Chasing Suns was one of them, from The Sound of Animals Fighting. Atlas Novus, Scale the Summit. So, that's instrumental. Blue Walsh, Mastodon. All of the Descending tracks. Now I'm just saying, like, basically, there's not a weak point here. Classic rock was great. Alt rock was good. Radiohead sounded just so nice. And even things as heavy as Archspire or Meshuggah. It just handled it. Everything really, really well. Lately I've been listening to, my son keeps finding these songs, like Fly Away by the Fat Rat, and I'm listening to the Fat Rat a little bit more. And so now I've gotten a little bit back into electronic music. Also a very strong point of the SLA3. Acoustic music, vocals. There wasn't one thing that they didn't do well. And there wasn't one time where I was like, well, I really wish they were doing this a little bit more, or this a little bit better. I wish there was a little bit more of that. No. Um, the nice thing about them is that they're also so smooth that you don't have to be paying full attention. But if you decide to pay full attention and try to pick out as much as you possibly can, detail wise, in a song, you're going to be able to do it. And if you like that immersion without feeling like you're in a giant room, like an opera house or something like that. I mean, if you listen to opera and it's recorded like a live recording, you're going to feel like you're in the opera house. I mean, it's not intimate in the soundstage. It's just very accurate. And here's the thing for me, because I've had other sets in recently that do that really well too. Um, it combines the detail, the stage, the imaging, and the separation. The instrument separation is really what allows you to go so far deep into these songs. The layering and the separation on these is just freaking outstanding. Never experienced it at a $100 set before. Barely have experienced it in $200 to $300 sets before, honestly. Like, to this extent, yeah, I mean, there's some sets up there, like the DMA, obviously. The recently reviewed AFLU 5 plus 2, P5 plus 2. The Shanling, even the Shanling ME600, which I freaking love, best metal set ever. I don't think it actually quite has the detail retrieval of the SLA3. What we have is a market breaker. That's what we have. I'm not kidding. This is a market breaking IEM. These are $100. These should be $350 from the way that they perform. And I can only say that they should be that expensive because the only thing I've experienced that's more expensive than that is like the SLT6, which can be around $450 or $5 most days, right? And I think I'd probably take the SLA3 over the SLT6. Sorry, Meyer. Ugh. The SLT6 is a different experience. You know, being all BAs, it's definitely a precise set. The bass on the Sliivo SLA3 is just so freaking fantastic as well, on top of everything else. On top of the stage, on top of the treble energy and extension and detail and all of it. It has the backbone. It's got the bass. It's got just such satisfying bass. So early contender for a top 5 release of 2025. And I believe this is officially released in 2025. I think it's my first 2025 release, actually. What a way to start off the year. Holy crap. I hope the CK2V is this good, or close to this good. I really do, because it's literally just blown every other $100 set that I've tried out of the water. And as much as I love some of them, like the EPC K5 is so good, and I thought the Mimosa was excellent too. And you know, there's nothing is competing with these for $100. Just it's not happening. So yeah, this is my first official blind buy. Just go get a set and thank me later. And I will link the Myer-Audio official store at AliExpress in the description for y'all to pick it up. Pick them up. Don't wait. Just get them. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go up in price because I doubt that they will. They released it at this price for a reason. And I'm assuming they're going to keep it there. They've thrown the gauntlet down, and now I would expect others are going to have to respond. Bravo, Myer-Audio. And if you love that Myer-Audio DNA, you love that house sound, it is all over these guys. It's just astonishing how high the performance level is for the price. Brain melting, one might say. Immediately into the top tier on the ranking list. So, that is going to do it for today. I'll update you. I haven't decided. I might take a break between the Meyer sets because I might just have to. But for the rest of the day today, I'll be listening to the SLA3 before I start anything else. So, anyway, that's it for today. Be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. And I'll see you Thursday or Friday. Take care.